everyone, this is Maki. The new story GQuuuuuuX is really heating up. With its English release just around the corner, I'm sure many of you are eagerly awaiting it. Today, we are going to take a quick look at some new high-grade Gunpla releases and check out some comments from the designer. Please be aware that today we'll be discussing spoilers related to GQuuuuuuX. While we'll only be covering information officially announced by Bandai, there will still be story details that some may consider spoilers. If you're not familiar with the mobile suits featured in the story, I suggest you watch the movie first before tuning into this program. We'll also take a closer look at the hidden features of their weapons. Alright, let's dive into our analysis. A photo of the high-grade red Gundam has been released. Just recently, a metal robot spirits version of this unit was also announced. In addition to its standard equipment, beam rifle beam saber and shield, it also comes with bits and the Gundam hammer. In GQuuuuuuX beginning, Shuji Ito piloted it while equipped with 2 bits and the hammer. The hammer may be a rather primitive weapon in terms of mechanics, but it's incredibly powerful. While its exact specifications have yet to be revealed, the fact that it relies on physical impact for attacks strongly suggests that it's made of extremely durable metal. Speaking of durable metal, in the context of GQuuuuuuX beginning, that would refer to lunar titanium alloy. It's the same metal used for the armor of the mobile suits developed under the Bowie project, including the original Gundam. Later, this material would be known as Gundam alloy. The light-type gun cannon, a mass-produced mobile suit of the Earth's Federation forces, also uses this material for its armor. Interestingly, similar melee weapons have appeared in other Gundam series sets in the Universal Century. One such example is the Baroque from Crossbone Gundam Dust. This weapon is essentially a massive block of Gundam alloy forged into the shape of a sword. Crossbone Gundam Dust is set in an era where, due to the effects of constant warfare, very few mobile suits are capable of using beam weapons. Since Gundam alloy has an exceptionally high resistance to metal bullets and is extremely difficult to destroy, mobile suits without Gundam alloy armor are easily torn apart. Likewise, the hammer of the red Gundam may look simple, but it poses a serious and deadly threat to mobile suits that aren't armored with Gundam alloy. The high-grade red Gundam is priced at approximately $18. Please note that the price may fluctuate depending on exchange rates. It is scheduled for release in May 2025, with pre-orders opening in Japan on February 19. Now let's take a look at the comments from Mr. Ikuto Yamashita, the mechanical designer. First, we have some insights about the bits. The bits of the Gundam in GQuuuuuuX function as attack drones that do not rely on electromagnetic wave connections. In addition, when connected to the Gundam, they enhance its propulsion by acting as synthetic thrust boosters or as part of a cluster engine system. The concept of a cluster engine also exists in the real world. It refers to a system in which several small engines are grouped together to function as a single propulsion unit. This approach is more cost-effective and structurally simpler than developing a single large and powerful engine. A similar example can be found in the Seed series with Chaos Gundam, which uses the engines of its back-mounted attack pods. Although there is no official mention of them being cluster engines, they serve a similar function in the story. So it's reasonable to consider them as comparable technology. It seems that Mr. Yamashita had a little accident while assembling the high-grade GQuuuuuX Gunpla. Let's take a look at his comment. I thought I had finished assembling the high-grade GQuuuuuX, but I ended up with a large piece left over. Where does this piece go? I recognize the groove design, but I just can't trace it. Come to think of it, Oda Annie used to have a coming gag where a machine would be sent into battle, only for the engineers to realize afterwards that they had leftover screws. You don't see that joke much in Modern Annie. Personally, I always liked that kind of scene. Then, in his next comment, the mystery seems to be solved. The leftover part turned out to be the storage container of the fusion reactor. It seems that even among Gunpla builders, many people don't know where the fusion reactor is. I suppose it's because unlike a GN drive, it's not a visually distinct component, so people don't tend to recognize it. This amusing little accident really shows how designers put meaning into every tiny part of a model. The GN drive was a fantastic invention because even people who aren't particularly interested in mechanics can immediately recognize it and say GN drive just by looking at it. A professional designer like Mr. Yamashita obviously studies other Gundam series in detail. Since overlapping ideas with other works would require revisions, being familiar with existing designs is crucial. The next time you build a Gunpla, why not take a moment to identify which part is the storage container of the fusion reactor? You may discover something new. Mecha designers carefully consider intricate settings when creating their designs, but these ideas don't always make it into the official setting. Mr. Yamashita made an additional comment about the fusion reactor storage container. If a TV Annie adaptation were to start, and there happened to be a scene where someone opened GQuuuuuX's abdomen and took out an ice cream, then that part would effectively become a refrigerator. This creates the fact that it is a refrigerator rather than a storage vessel or nuclear fusion reactor. That's how Annie settings tend to evolve over time. The idea of a mobile suit having a built-in refrigerator is quite amusing. And if it's powered by a nuclear engine, it would be an extremely powerful fridge. Of course, some people might be concerned about radiation exposure. Interestingly, in the Universal Century there is a technology called the I field, which also has radiation-blocking properties. That's why in the very first episode of First Gundam, the civilians in the space colony weren't affected by radiation when the nuclear engine exploded. It's unclear if GQuuuuuX world followed the same setting, but there's a possibility that it respects this lore. So, what do you think the piece installed in GQuuuuuX's belly is? Is it really a storage container or a fusion reactor? Or could it really be a refrigerator? It might even be fun to put a tiny ice cream figure in there and play around with the idea. Thank you for watching until the end. See you in the next episode.